Hi, my name is Nick Morris at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson Triumph Raleigh. We're doing Tech Talk, and today we're doing brakes. So it all starts up here with your master cylinder. There are a lot of different types. They're a radial mount. This happens to be a regular old master cylinder, but basically it has fluid in it, and there's a little plunger there, and when you squeeze the brake, it pushes in that plunger, which pumps fluid out here and down your brake line into your caliper. So looking at a caliper, this is the piece down on your brake disc, and you have two pads in there and some pistons, which I've got this one apart with no pads in it so you can see what the piston looks like. Basically, the pad just sits in there, well, like so, and piston pushes it forwards and backwards so that they clamp down on the disc. Pretty easy stuff. Master cylinders will come in different bore sizes, and it's for different calipers, different brake setups, two brakes, single disc, even race discs or race calipers like these, which are, you can see, have 6 individual pistons. Moving on down, so I have a few different rotors here. First one is a solid rotor, obviously, because there is nothing there, just one piece of steel milled out. Has all these holes in it to keep it cool. Just like anything else on your bike, heat is the enemy, and a disc that gets excessively hot can warp. Definitely not good. It'll kind of give you a pulsating motion in your lever if it does warp, and it's something you'll definitely feel. Then we have a floating rotor, and floating rotor is easily identifiable because it has these buttons, and what it does is it keeps this carrier is a separate piece bolted to the wheel, and this disc actually floats or is allowed to move because of these buttons. And what that does is it doesn't put the strain directly on the wheel. It lets the disc move a little bit so that it doesn't shock the front end, maybe giving you a wobble or poor feedback out of the front end. So these are becoming pretty standard on bikes now. Most Triumphs have them. Harley's starting to come around with them. This is a Harley disc. But it's a higher performance than the solid rotor. And then you have the ultimate in performance, which, when I said heat is a bad thing, heat is a really good thing for these. This is a carbon disc, and they don't actually start working until they get up to temperature. So these would be pretty much a race application. You wouldn't really use these on the street very much, just because of the material that's on them and the way that you have to ride with them. They have to get hot, and once they get hot, they grab like crazy. So that's pretty much everything in the brakes, aside from ABS and other electronic rider aids that help with brakes. There's also drum brakes, which don't really come on motorcycles anymore, so we're not really going to discuss those. But do like all the questions you guys have been sending me, so keep them coming. If you do have any questions, you can feel free to ask them in the comments or send me an email at nick@tobaccoroadhd.com. Thanks.